Welcome to the podcast that refuses to let you live on autopilot. This isn't about motivation quotes or someday plans. It's about real tools, clear decisions, and the strategies that turn intention into momentum. Your presenters are coaches and truth tellers who live this work. They help people break stuck patterns, cut through the noise, and build lives that actually move forward. No theory, no fluff, just execution. This is for people done circling the runway, ready to choose growth over comfort, ready to build their best life on purpose. Lean in. Here are your hosts, Christine Baylor-Goodlander and Melanie Olivieri.
Okay. Hey, good morning, beautiful people. It's Christine from Collaborative Growth Coaching, and I am very, very excited this morning to be with two of my favorite humans on the planet, Kim Kane Santos and Michelle Calizza. Thank you for joining me this morning, friends.
Thanks for having us.
And
having us, getting it together.
Yay! Get the band back together. So we're going to talk about friendship and how sometimes struggles through life and through work and through all the things that we do in this lifetime really create the roots that live under the forest, right? And you don't always see them, but they decide when which trees stand, which trees exist when the wind blows so hard. And roots can grow in surprisingly different directions. So let's start with Kim. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and gosh, how long have we all been friends? It's been a bit. It's been a hot minute.
Oh, you're going to make me do math this early?
Okay, you don't have to. You don't have to.
I think the common bond for us all is that we are massage therapists, right? There's a lot of common bonds. I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
We're moms, we're grandmas,
Mhm.
but initially I think, is being massage therapists,
Mhm.
and that's how we've connected. Um, s- I don't know, 10
Mhm.
years?
It's been, I would say,
More
maybe a
than
little
that.
longer.
When'd you
Maybe
run the marathon?
Oh gosh, that was 17,
Okay. Yeah.
2017. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that because it's hanging on the wall. Yes, I had to look up. But yeah. So yeah. Michelle?
Yeah.
Gosh, how long have we known each other? Kim, probably a couple of years prior to Christine running the marathon. But again, massage therapist, and we do have lots in common. Families, family structures. I think that some of our personal beliefs, some of our faith. There's a lot that unites us, but ultimately, um, shared shared environments, shared bonds, shared experiences, um, great laughter together, some tears shared together. But that's what creates our bonds. That's what makes this so exciting and important to have this conversation this morning, because it really is about all of the things we've experienced together.
Yeah. So let me ask you, and feel free, either one of you, to answer this. What tends to happen first to a relationship between colleagues? Because, we were colleagues first and then friends, and that's, what do you think that is? What happens first? I mean, for me,
Also, I
what I
think
think happens first is it becomes commonalities, shared interests, shared, that kind of thing comes first. And what else do you think?
Do you want to take that one, Kim, first? You want me to take it?
I think basically what said, Michelle, or what we've talked, a lot of the commonalities that we have, and have built on.
I'll say that when I met Kim, my first experience with her was we were seated at a table side by side, and I sat down and I said, "Oh, you're my alphabet sister. My brother starts with this, your state starts with that," and just opened up the conversation to, hey, we do have something in common. And then just started talking about, why are you here? What are you excited about? What do you think this is going to be? We're in this together. So that's how Tim and I started. And Christine, you and I jumped into something together at the same time. And that conversation was, what do we have to look forward to? How did we get here? What's going to happen? Trying to make those connections.
Do you think that, and this is kind of a weird question. Do you think that there's like these unspoken kinds of rules that surround people when they're in, say, an organization together, like we happen to be at a million years ago at any given moment? Do you think that
Absolutely.
yeah.
There's the language that you share, meaning we're in a professional environment, you speak a certain way, you don't speak a certain way. You're trying to put your best person forward, and as time unfolds, you get to learn more and more about somebody. Definitely there's a language to learn. There's nuances to how someone speaks, learns, listens. My Northeastern accent was something for people to figure out. But yeah,
We
Kim,
love it.
it's something. Do you want to hop onto that, Kim?
No, I think you hit it pretty good there. Yeah.
So, we talk about, because of what we try to share within the podcast, it's really, how do things make your life better? What can you do to improve your life, and all of those things? So I'm going to jump right to the meat of a question that says, how do you feel that a shared hardship creates a bond?
Great question. You want to go first, Kim?
I like the way she did that. Kim, you want to go first? I'll take it. Yeah. How do you
Well,
feel? When there's
I
a
think by
rough patch?
supporting each other through whatever that hardship may be, for sure, at least that's how I've felt, you know. Um,
I'd say as you're establishing a relationship with somebody, and also depending on where you are in your relationship when this experience happens, sometimes knowing somebody's strengths versus somebody's challenges and being able to support each other with that, to be able to listen openly, to be able to hear what's being said openly.
Yeah.
I think that's a really important part of figuring out how to navigate through an experience together.
No, that's reasonable. It is, and it's the nuances of each individual person.
What do you think, Christine, on that? I'd love to hear your perspective.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, it is. It is those nuances, though. It is that idea that, for me, with the three of us, it was more like Kim has a very calming presence. It's like, okay, take a breath, reel it back in. Okay. Clearly I'm the volatile one. But, and I don't mean it like, but I'll be the first, somebody will do something and I'll be like, jerk, that's, my first response. But, she's got a very calming presence, so she can say, okay, take a breath. Let's look at this. Kim's a ruminator. I will tell you that. Kim's a ruminator. You think about things. Kim likes to think about things.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. Michelle likes to explain things. She's like, okay, let's take a look at this and explain it this way. What if X, Y, and Z? And, and for me, that's always been a help. Because to have those conversations and say, okay, now let's look at it from this perspective, or let's look at it from that perspective, or, where do you think so and so's coming from when this or that goes on? So it is looking at the nuances of each person's personality that make it a great um, jumping off point, if you will.
Mhm.
You know, um, here's a great one. What happens? And this is sort of a generality. Okay, what happens when loyalty to a friend conflicts with loyalty to the job, the organization, something else? Wh- What what happens there when something like that happens?
Boundaries.
Boundaries, absolutely. We all need them,
Yep.
right? We
hmm
all need boundaries.
Knowing
Uh,
your role
yeah,
in the situation.
Yeah,
yeah,
respect. Yes, knowing your role and having that respect. And depending, I think obviously depending upon the situation, whether what policies are and so forth
hmm
and so on too, or scope of practice
Mhm.
or just ethics, all of those kind of things come into play. So,
sure. Mhm.
I think as friends, if you're respecting each other, the role that someone is playing and you respect that, you know? You'd at least for me, I don't expect any favors or just because we're friends,
Right,
you
right.
know, um, or anything like that. Yeah.
I
So,
also I also think transparency. Like,
hmm
not everybody gets to know everything in every scenario, but you
Right.
get to know how we got there. Um, and being able to understand that dynamic in a relationship, I think really does make things clearer.
I would agree with all of that. All of that. um, let's see. What else are we going to talk about? Where do you see people drawing the line then? You talked about boundaries.
Mhm.
So, um, do you see do you see a problem with people connecting as friends in a work situation? And where do you see that boundary lying?
No, I don't see there being a problem with it. Again, based on the things that we just discussed, we'd all be in trouble if that was the case, ladies.
Mhm. True enough. True
Um,
enough.
I think that knowing, again, the dynamics of the situation, knowing all of those things that we just outlined,
Mhm.
I think that helps you to be able to support a friend who maybe is in the thick of something and you're not necessarily a part of that, but you see your friend is being challenged by something, or maybe they're succeeding in something, which can be the opposite side of that coin, and you're just there to support them and say, I know you can't tell me what's going on,
Mhm.
or I respect that I don't want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Um,
Oftentimes it is that. Please
right.
don't tell. Please don't
I don't
involve
want to
me. But
know,
I'm here for
but
you.
I'm here for you. Hey, let's go get massages together. Let's
Mhm.
go just sit quietly in the park for a few minutes. Whatever it might be, but support your friend in their role and not expect something from that. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
absolutely. Yeah.
What do you think,
Yeah.
Kim?
Anything, Kim?
Yeah, I again, depending upon the scenario, if it's a work situation, if you can help maybe pick up the slack without actually, maybe doing the job itself, but hey, you know, let me answer a couple of emails or whatever it may be,
Mhm. Mhm.
or I'll take this on for you, kind of thing.
Mhm.
So, but yet respecting boundaries and all of that.
Mhm. So would you say in your experiences, are friendships across those, different levels of different levels of work, different levels of places and organizations, things like that. Do you find that it's common during a crisis, or do you think it's kind of rare
that you
that
have friends.
that those bonds really form?
Oh, I
I mean,
think
I can
you
look at it
find
both
out who your
ways.
friends are, right? It goes to that
You
you
do.
find
Yeah,
out
you do
who the
find out who your
friends
friends
are.
are.
Yeah.
There's no question there. Right. And because for me to answer that question, my first answer is it's rare. I think it's very rare that people form a really strong bond, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and the reason I think it's rare is because for the most part, I find that people that are in a leadership role, when I look at those who have been in those things, and then I look at at a situation that might have occurred for them, I would say they look at it as what's in it for me and how can I come out of this with the best possible light shining on me,
Mhm,
you
Mm,
know, as opposed to, hey guys, we need to work this out. And so here as a collective,
mhm,
is what we're doing. And
right.
and that's why I think I find it rare. That, I mean, we have a weird bond. It's
It's deep.
it it is a deep bond. It's different than a lot of
Right.
other
Mhm,
bonds of friendship.
And I think
Yeah.
we have time on our side,
Yeah.
which helped to help our relationship to evolve to the level that it is, help our relationship to grow. Um, I do think a relationship as deep as ours is more rare.
Hmm.
Many times in organizations, companies, your workplaces, sometimes it feels like you're almost put against each other, like you need to succeed and you can't worry so much about the other person. I think that, we came together as three colleagues who valued a friendship and said, we're going to roll up our sleeves and do the hard work together, whatever that is, over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that I want the right word. I think that that connected us the way that it has.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think it is more rare. And oftentimes, sadly, I've heard, women can't support women the way they should. Well, I say, put your crown on and let me help you shine it.
Yeah.
That's, I think we all, the three of us, really believe that. So that's my
Agreed.
thoughts.
Agreed.
What about
yeah,
you,
I
Kim?
agree. And I agree. And I would just add that there's a level of deep caring about
Mhm.
um the situation or the workplace or or what we do in that
Mhm.
sense. So I mean, I think having a big caring heart comes into play too,
Yeah.
because we
Yeah, we agree with
care,
that.
you
Yeah.
know.
No, truly.
Truly,
Yeah,
we care
truly.
deeply.
It is about caring. But like again, it's that little piece that just says, you're not in this, I'm not in this alone. You're not in this alone. And we're in this together and we're gonna shine together. We're gonna sink together. It becomes this, it's not every man for themselves kind of deal,
Yep.
It's kind of a
and
We're gonna
greater
wipe the
good.
mud off each other,
yeah, and that makes a difference, right? It makes a difference, I think,
for sure.
in a lot of ways, in the work, in the friendships, and the whole package. Um, yeah, so we kind of already talked about that challenging. I was thinking about, how do things challenge you in and I guess the question is how do challenging moments reveal your true friendships? and how do they create them? And like Kim said, find out who your friends are. You do that. Do
Yeah.
you think there's
And
anything?
sometimes it's surprising. I don't in my experience,
Mhm.
in life and in all of the different roles that, in different eras of your life, sometimes for me it was surprising of who would step up
Okay.
versus someone you might have thought would have stepped up to be by your side.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
finding out who yeah,
That's an
yeah.
interesting phenomenon, isn't it? To
Mhm.
It
say,
is.
wow,
It
who were
it
the people that showed up? Who were the people that like drove? They like drove across the country to support me and be here for me and all of the things. And you're like, and the person I thought who like lives next door is not even acknowledging the existence of any kind of need. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I think
absolutely. I think that's
sometimes that may be because people have gone through maybe similar situations and
Mm.
things like that. It feels like, and so they want to be there. And
yeah. But I also think
yeah,
it's an awareness.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's it's
Oh, for
it's an
sure.
Yeah.
awareness of where somebody else might be at and recognizing that somebody may need something that I can give.
Hmm.
For me, at least that's how I think it, how I see it.
Yeah.
Yep. So what do you think, what kind of behaviors really foster a trust and a genuine connection?
Honesty,
Okay. Honesty.
showing up,
Mhm. Yeah.
Showing up.
Showing up.
communication, open dialogue, um,
Yeah.
passion for a subject or topic that's shared.
Mhm.
So that's a long list.
Yeah, it could be
Yeah.
a very long
Showing that you
list. It could be a
care,
very long list.
respect, all of those things been, all those words we've been throwing out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Accountability.
for
There's so
sure.
many.
For sure. For sure. It's that for lack of a better word, it's that tried and true um sense of sense of friendship. I know
Mhm.
that so and so is has got my back,
Mhm.
you know. And I think that feels the most to me.
Mhm.
So, last question. Okay. How do we talk about how do we improve our lives and we talk about living the best possible life we can and what do we do that? How do you see good friends creating an environment where you can live your best possible life?
Supporting one another in the things you're
Yeah.
doing. Like
Yeah.
Christine's podcast today.
Yes, like thank you for my podcast. Yeah.
Showing up,
Mhm.
asked, yes, ma'am, no questions asked. What do I need to do?
Mhm.
Kim, yeah, Kim said, hey, I got this thing going on in Pennsylvania. Can you come my way? You betcha.
Mhm.
We'll make it
Yeah.
happen. You make it happen. Not being afraid to try new things together.
Yeah.
And also knowing that there's a foundation that we've built.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a foundation that we built, but I'd like to add too that it doesn't it you can't always take that for granted either. Like
Right.
there has to be work put into it, right?
Yeah.
Connection with the
As
connect.
well. Yep, you have to, yeah, make some things happen too, Although, and this is so cliche, right? You can, you know, be living life and a couple months later reconnect and it's like that time in between never really happened, right? I mean, you hear that all the
Absolutely.
time,
Yeah.
but it
It
is so
happens
key
it
to
happens
pick
to
up.
us at least once a year every year. But
Yep.
but more often than
You can
that,
pick
right?
up where you left
Yeah,
off.
you just
Yeah.
pick up where you left off. Every conversation is kind of like that. Even if we're just,
Yeah.
doing a group call just to check in and see how everybody's doing or whatever.
Just
Yeah.
making it happen. Just
Mhm.
reaching out and making it happen. Don't let, hey, I thought of Kim and Christine today. Don't wait a week to call. Pick up the phone, make the
Yeah.
connection. Thank God for three-way calls.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Even though our schedules don't always allow us to be physically together, find a way, FaceTime, phone call, drop
Mhm.
a card, hey, thinking of you, whatever it takes, when you value something so much, you
Mhm.
got to find the little ways to make sure it's supported, nurtured, loved,
Mhm.
grown.
Yeah.
We continue to grow together and separate, and sharing it makes it that much more precious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. If someone, yeah. Yeah. If friendships need to be nurtured, and friendships can truly help you live your best life be-
Absolutely.
because there's so much there for you. There is. So I thank you ladies so very much for this. It was so great to connect and to have you just share some real genuine friendship moments. It's been a beautiful thing. So if anything that we've talked about today makes you think, makes you think of somebody, if it makes you think of that friend that you haven't talked to in a little bit, pick up the phone, send them a card, reach out, because friends are an important part of who we are and what needs to come next in our lives, and how do we get there, and a starting off place and the jumping off and a bouncing ideas and all of the things that make life what it is. So if any of those things resonate with you, share this with someone that you know, and share it with your friends, share it with your besties. Get on there and listen to this, and then go have a tea and enjoy their time together.
Yeah.
So I thank you very much. You can find us, of course, on all the podcast facilities and YouTube. You'll find us there. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. We're always here for you. And as I say after every session, continue to dwell in your limitless possibilities. And I look forward to seeing everybody in the next episode. Thank you so very much. Bye for now.